Okay, as you can see, I double as a waiter when I work here. I'm feeding one of our youngest fans. Betty, our engineer, brought down a 2.5-week-old kitten who's having a great time with this bottle. Here you go, little guy. Could I get you to talk into the microphone?
He's cute.
Have anything to say?
He's cute.
Apparently not. Okay, I'm going to give him back to Betty. Very nice.
How old did you say he was? 2 weeks? 3 weeks. Wow.
3 weeks, okay.
He's cute, the little
It's
one.
a beauty.
He told me he was 2.5 weeks old. He's already lying about his age.
Can't even take him home. I can't even feed him.
All right. We're moving on to the Amish. Fairly law-abiding group in general. Would you agree?
Oh, sure.
You're familiar with the Amish, Joe?
Pennsylvania, sure.
Have any run-ins with them?
Dutch country.
Yeah.
Right. Well, here, usually law-abiding, but not always.
Yeah, I got beat up by one once.
You were beaten up by the Amish? That was a joke in a Woody Allen movie,
I know. Was it?
Yeah.
Well, it's just sorry of me, but I'd rather not go into it. I got to go back to the neighborhood.
Well, this 17-year-old Amish kid, his name was Levi Detweiler, decides to drive drunk. Not only that, he runs a stop sign, and then when the police pursue him, he runs from them. One problem, this whole thing he did in his horse and buggy.
Oh, he can't get away. How's he trying to outrun a police car?
He then leads them on a very, very low-speed chase.
Yeah, about 2 miles an hour. Right?
Oh, my God.
And they do eventually catch up to him. They bust him not only for DUI, running a stop sign, evading the police, and overworking and overdriving an animal, which, believe it or not, is a real crime.
Never heard that in my life.
Sure.
Overdriving an animal.
What do you mean overdriving an animal?
That's a crime, apparently, in this area.
Jeez.
This guy's from upstate New York. I guess they have tougher Amish up there in Leon, New York.
That's ridiculous. That's crazy.
Well, as you know, I'm an animal lover, so I guess kick his ass. Not his horse, but his ass.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I'm an animal lover, too.
So you're with me on that.
Of course.
Oh, the Amish guy, I mean, come on, how smart can he be? Guy ain't been out of the woods and, jeez Christ, that's hard to believe.
Okay, well, now.
Takes all kinds, right?
Going to switch gears a little. I got some newspaper headlines I wanted to share with you guys, too, that I enjoyed. Did tireless research for this. All right, now, you guys might remember the famous headline in the Post, headless body found in topless bar.
Oh, that was the greatest.
That was a good one. This guy robbed a strip club years ago, and he didn't want to leave any witnesses, so he cut off the head of the stripper and took it with him. This guy literally got head from the stripper.
He got a lot of head, huh?
Yes.
Headless body, that's funny. I remember that one, yeah.
But that was a real headline. But and these are also real headlines, but that was intentionally funny. These are not necessarily. Okay? So see what you think of some of these. These are real headlines, okay? Stolen painting found by tree.
No, it's hard to believe.
That's a pretty smart tree.
Yeah.
They better be making textbooks out of that tree.
Stolen painting found by tree. Yeah, it'll take me 5 days to figure that out.
Okay.
You got any hint about that?
No, apparently somebody left a painting by a tree, but the headline is a little deceptive.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, the tree found the painting. How's the tree
Yeah,
find the
I
painting?
got
What,
it.
got
Well,
eyes,
that's the whole
ears,
point, yeah.
hands?
Trees are very old. They're wise.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Include your children when baking cookies.
Oh, boy. Would they put the kids in the oven?
And the equally popular, kids make nutritious snacks.
These headlines are crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
Who wrote this? Jeffrey Dahmer?
Probably. Oh, he got his in jailhouse justice. They got him in there.
What did they do to Dahmer?
They killed him.
Oh,
They killed him. They plunged him to death.
Bludgeoned him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
It's crazy.
Yeah, one of the inmates.
Should have used him for food. Would have been better off than food in prison.
He ate people, and they gave him a beating, and then they killed him in prison.
So Joe is obviously very familiar with this story.
Sure. I read about it. I seen it on the news. I seen it all over the place. I mean, somebody did him in.
We got sick people in this.
That's jailhouse justice. I mean, you know.
I mean, we came from really a tough neighborhood, extraordinary neighborhood. That I never heard of such things like this when we were younger. I mean, it's
You
just,
never ate your neighbors.
No, well, close. I don't want to actually go into detail. When I wanted to, yes, but couldn't actually make it there. Guy was
Okay.
such a BB.
I mean, if
I
a
would have
neighbor
ate
was
him.
like 36,
I don't wanna get into it.
24, 36, and she's female.
Be nice.
You might do some snacking.
Well,
Yeah, of
I
course.
can't say because I'm married a long time.
Yeah,
My wife,
no.
she'll want to hang me when I get home.
Yeah,
She's
but that's
tough. She's a Bronx girl.
yeah. We don't want to get into that. That's for the Amish people. Forget this.
So was the Bronx as tough as they say it was?
Oh, there's a lot of tough people that came from Fordham,
Oh,
Arthur
my
Avenue,
God.
Little Italy. A lot of tough guys.
You serious?
A lot of
Fordham
tough guys.
Baldies, Fordham
Fordham
Daggers.
Daggers.
So that was a real group. The four. I saw that in a
yeah.
movie called The Wanderers. I think.
But there was
yeah.
a lot of, I think, Italian pride at that time in the 40s and 50s. You had the Yankees with Berra Rizzuto. You had boxing with Jake LaMotta. Marciano was the heavyweight champ. I think there was a lot of macho stuff going on because they felt these guys were our ethnic, and
Italian.
pride. They were
American.
Italian. They were boxing champions. I mean, there was a tough crowd. I mean, we used to have Orchard Beach there. I remember there were so many problems. But I don't know. I mean, each guy had, there was a certain aura about that. The Bronx and my neighborhood anyway. Bronx is a big place. I'm just including Fordham Road. I mean, the Bronx obviously goes down on 25th and goes west and east, but we called it our neighborhood, and that was our neighborhood. So if you went past Webster or Fordham Road, you were considered an outsider, but it was very tough. I mean, you had to really survive somehow.
Well, during the 50s and 60s, FBI statistics, Arthur Avenue was the safest neighborhood in the world.
Really?
The safest neighborhood in the world. I used to live in an apartment building, 2394 Belmont Avenue, where, Dion the Belmont sang on Belmont Avenue many years ago. And there was 24 families there. Everybody had their door open. You could sleep on the fire escape, on the roof, in a convertible car, and nobody would touch you.
And yet it was tough in so many different ways. So, I mean, if you were an outsider, it was very tough. But
I would not have been welcomed into your neighborhood.
No, never happened.
I mean,
They would have smacked me around.
No,
or what?
I don't think so.
Unless you knew somebody.
Unless you did something to deserve that, you probably did. I mean, most people minded their business, but if you came in with the Andy Troy attitude, man, I mean, I don't think people understand. I know you. You're a good guy. You're a very affable guy. Very great sense of humor. But that might have not been understood. They might have hung you on a fire escape there. So I might have had to come up and get you.
All right, well, at least coffee cake I would have looking out for me.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely look out for you.
No, we would look out for you, Andy. You're our friend. If you was an enemy in the neighborhood and you wanted to walk around with a chip on your shoulder, wrong place to be a tough guy. 'Cause they would have took care of you. They would have took care of business.
You had a legendary group. Again, the Fordham Baldies, the Fordham Daggers. And
Tough bunch of
I
guys.
mean, we had at one time this may be off base a little bit, but it always strikes me how tough the neighborhood was. They had the Golden Gloves. Now, the Golden Gloves consumed all of New York, Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, the Bronx, and it was they had 10 championship fights at the end of the year. One year there were 5 guys in the championship fights from our neighborhood. 5 guys. So think of that area from Webster Avenue to Southern Boulevard, not 3rd Avenue to like 180th. Compared to the rest of New York, might have been maybe 200th of the area. And yet we had 5 guys that were. And it was just I guess you had to be, listen, you had to be tough. You had to be swing your way out of things. And
So
even if you weren't tough.
who was like the toughest fighter to come out of your neighborhood, would you say?
Oh, jeez, there was Billy Bello who
Yeah,
fought.
Billy Bello.
I would say Tony Tarzo, which was a little
Tony
guy.
Tarzo, yeah.
Hunt 12 guys. There were 1 year, Frankie Coffeecake and
Jake LaMotta.
Any
Well,
Italian
take 'em
guys?
harder. Oh yeah, well, a few maybe. I mean, it was it was just a tough time, and
Then you had the Moriello brothers.
it's very
Yeah.
tough. If
Yeah.
you
Fighters.
even if you couldn't fight, you had to pretend you could. It was, you had to protect yourself, even though you probably were phony about it. You had to be a pretty good actor. I think that's why a lot of good actors come from our neighborhood, because I think you had to be sort of an actor to get out of that neighborhood. You had to come up with great stories to tell the bookmaker why you didn't have his money, or you had to go home, you had your good pants on, you couldn't get in a fight, this is your Sunday pants. I mean, we should say stupid things like that. I mean.
So the guys who didn't have good clothes could fight any time, so they were actually probably in a better position.
Well, you'd get a beating. That's why you couldn't wear dungarees. If you knew you were going to get in a fight, it's better to wear a good pair of pants. So you say, you always use that excuse.
Yeah, so if I had my good clothes on, then these guys wouldn't mess with me? Or is that like I'm wearing my glasses or
but
what?
You had to say, I got to go home. My mom's going to get pissed off if I fight with these clothes on. You take off. I pulled that many times, believe me. I didn't have that many good clothes, but you had to really be, very resourceful, because you're always in trouble somehow, not going to school or trying to steal something or opening up the Johnny Pump. I mean, it was a tremendous neighborhood. I was so poor. I mean, I don't want to go into some. I don't want to stop playing the violin here, but we had great. I mean, it was such a great neighborhood.
Now,
despite that.
Somebody just wrote in and wants to know how long you guys know each other. Joe, when did you meet Coffeecake?
Oh, a lifetime. Oh, we grew up together.
So you did life together, basically.
Sure.
Sure.
Me, him, Ches Palmetieri,
and
a lot of the guys that we still go and see on Octor Avenue.
Yeah.
We grew up together.
Yeah, Joey was on 187th. I lived all over the place, Washington, Camberlin. That's any place we can land our body. Joey was, you ought to see, everybody assimilated together great. I mean, they used to have the feast there, which was great. And everybody, if you didn't meet through the street, you met through the feast, or you'd go walking through, which is not the same anymore. But it was just, there were so many groups, my older brother's group, the younger groups, and we'd have 3 guys on each corner, and all older than each other. We all knew each other, but we hung out with different crowds. It was a tremendous neighborhood. The great incomparable Eddie Mush came out of that neighborhood. You got to be kidding me.
Now, Joe was friendly with Jay Black from Jay and the Americans. Didn't you guys just connect recently?
Wednesday, we were at Loretta Park, and Sandy, that was on the show a few weeks ago, he introduced me to Jay Black, and he signed a few 45s that I have at least 45 years. And he signed 3 of them, and we told him we were from the Bronx Tale. He took pictures with us and Senator Klein and me and Coffeecake, and Sandy was there. And
Andy, the guy's 74 years old.
And he still hits the notes.
He sounds like he's 24.
Yeah.
It was incredible. For nothing, how can you go wrong?
Great show.
Dion was our hero from our neighborhood. Dion was born on Prospect, which he used to come down 188 with his Thunderbird. He was my idol. I couldn't believe somebody from my neighborhood was famous,
Yeah,
Until I became famous. No.
Wasn't Joe...
I couldn't resist that.
Didn't your sister date Dion or something?
My oldest sister, Phyllis, that's 73 years old, was his first girlfriend. Yeah. And Dion used to take me up his house when I was 6 years old by the hand on 183rd Street. And I used to go over his house, and I seen a few of his albums. And I told him, you're going to be a big star one day. And he says, I hope you're right, Jojo. Because he used to call me Jojo. And he used to take me back home to my sister. They were 16 years old at the time. He still remembers that.
Well, her sister's...
Great guy. Great
his sister's Donna. With the song stems from Donna, and his wife is Sue Butterfield. So Runaround Sue. So that's where those 2 songs stem from.
We'll have to get Jay on the show. Is he still living in New York? Where is he?
Jay Black, I think he's from
Tremendous.
Queens. But he's great. He was around Howard Beach.
I think he used to live in Brooklyn at one time, didn't he? In my old neighborhood, Flatbush.
Maybe, probably. I know he sang with Jay and the Americans for many years now.
And they're still around without him.
No, yeah, he's
got a new
not
Jay.
with the group. Yeah, he's not with the group anymore.
Who's that?
And Jay, I think his name is Jay Trainer. He's with my friend up there in Rockland County, Jay Siegel from the Tokens.
Yeah, they're on their 3rd Jay and the American.
Yeah.
They go back 50 years.
They were terrific anyway.
Great group.
All right, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to hear more from Coffeecake, Joe Black, and all this other crazy stuff. So stay tuned.